Previously on Stickman Transformation. So of course I'm going to start with the main character. Give him a couple of arms, one's a little lopsided, and now comes the transformation. We'll bring his neck up into the middle of his head, and here comes his fuzzy sweater. It's best to keep all the branches kind of uneven and scrappy looking. Oh, I'm going to go up a little bit higher because I wanted to fill that in a little bit there. And make the trunk a little bit thicker. Oh, most of my paintings I start with an underpainting, so it's a glaze over the whole canvas. And I like to use warm tones because a lot of the time my paintings are blue, so it's a good background. It's a good start. And I always paint around the edges as well. And then I'll blow dry this, and I'll come back and I'll mix a nice mixture of green using blue, red, and yellow, and a nice dark mix. And I'll put a lot of medium in it so it's nice and thin, and it goes on kind of streaky. I don't want it to go on solid, and I fill in all those boughs. And I can add a few if I like as I go along. Just sort of keep an eye on how it looks as it's going here. And add a little bit of yellow and just sort of touch it in little areas where the light might be hitting on the tree boughs. And you notice where I'm holding my brush. My fingers are up quite a ways, so that makes me paint a little more loose. So I went back and I blow dried, and now I'm putting some of the sky color in. Now this first layer of sky color is probably not going to stay this way. I kind of change my mind as I go along, so basically I'm just kind of wanting to cut this tree in a little bit, and what I'm doing now is painting negative space. And I'm going to put a little more yellowish down the bottom there, and I did that down there so I could kind of keep an eye on the gradation from more of the bluish color down to the yellow. But like I say, this is just the first coat, so it's going to change. And I'll put sort of a bluey land piece. It's really crooked, but I'll go in later and fix that. And then just toss in some green in there and kind of touch up the edges. And I blow dried it again, and now I'm back. And you can see I'm putting in a little bit more of a darker blue up near the top. It's sort of a purpley blue. And I'm going to put some kind of midway down the tree as well. Being careful not to wipe out my branches. And I think I'm getting a little uncomfortable with this bigger brush, so I'm going to switch to a small brush pretty quick. And I want to keep that nice and light where the head of the stickman was there, and I painted over the top of the tree there, so I went in and scraped off the paint. I'm pretty sure I'm going to switch brushes here pretty quick, and there we go, smaller brush. Now I can kind of get into all these little crevices, and the small brush is great for around the edges, but it's not very good for the big open spaces because it covers too small of an area. So as you can see, I'm making it a little bit more yellow as I get down near the bottom. And then I'm going to put in a little bit more of the blue color down in the water here. And touching up a little bit here and there. And this is what I do when I paint skies. I just fiddle around and touch up a little bit here and there. I really don't have too much of a plan. But now I'm going to put in some nice warm peachy tones in through here because I want to warm it up a little bit, and this peach is pretty amazing against the blue. And I'm trying to remember to fill in the little holes, little sky holes in between the branches. And now I'm lightening it up a fair bit down at the bottom and working back up again. And I'll catch a little light along there. That land is still crooked. I haven't quite noticed it yet, but I will get back to that. And filling in some blue down the bottom. Trying to change it up a little bit so that it's not all one flat color. And I was trying to figure out, okay, should I do it darker at the back and lighter at the bottom, or lighter at the bottom and darker at the back? I do both. It just depends. So now I'm going to go in and define those branches a little bit more. Not really liking that one over there, so there I kind of put some extra ones in between. It was looking a little sparse. And a little bit of grass and that along the bottom. There was a lot of fiddling. I thought, yeah, I'll do this video up really quick, but it's a small painting, but there's still a lot of fiddling going on here. And I can't forget about the trunk. Put some nice warm red tones in there. Make sure I carry it on through and the trunk doesn't go off in another direction after it goes past the branches, which I have done before. And put some of those other branches that are kind of the dead branches that don't have any greenery on them. I'm going to adjust that land back in there a little bit. Maybe I'm now noticing that it's really crooked. Have I noticed yet? Not yet. And touching up some of the lights. So as you can see, I pretty much, yeah, there I just noticed. It's way out. I pretty much work the whole painting all at the same time. Back and forth, because everything is relative to whatever it is that you put beside it. So something can totally change if you put a different color in the sky and behind it. Still fiddling. And there you go. That's done.